What's going on? Travis here, TravisStetzel.com, TrainAggressive.com, and just coming to you. Gonna hit up another Friday Q&A here. Been getting a lot of great feedback from the past Friday Q&A, so we're gonna keep the trend rolling. And this week, been getting a lot of questions in regards to mobility, stretching, yoga, different things like that, as I've been talking about a new program which is pretty kick-ass. I like to consider it yoga, mobility work for badasses. It's called Bodyweight Flow. And anyways, I list the details below. But I've been getting a lot of questions back in regards to, like I mentioned, mobility and yoga. So I just want to go over some of the main questions I've been getting here. Number one is thoughts on yoga. How often should I be doing it? And is it something that I should be doing along with my strength training each and every week? And that's from Blake. So first off, my thoughts on yoga. I think it's something really good. I've done it a couple times, and I'll be straight up with you, it kicked my ass. And I did a 45-minute session the first time, second time. This was Bikram yoga, so you're like in a really hot room, like 100 degrees or whatever. But it kicked my ass, and that's because I lack mobility, especially my shoulders. So it's something good to do every now and then to help improve that mobility. But if you're already strength training 3-4 times a week, there's no need to add in that yoga, a bunch of times during the week, because I recommend you just focus on more specific mobility work. You don't have to go through a 45 to 90-minute yoga training session every single week to help improve your mobility. What I do is specific mobility work before, after training sessions. That's going to help you improve your mobility over time. I've been doing that, and my mobility has been improving. Now, that's something that you want to specifically focus in on, and it's something that you like to do, then by all means, go ahead and crank out a couple yoga sessions a week. If you haven't tried it before, I definitely recommend giving it a go. But as far as doing it a bunch in addition to your strength training sessions, I recommend against that. I just recommend doing focused mobility work via bands, different things like that. So that's my thoughts on that. Next question, Kellis. Wanting to know about off-day stretching and mobility work. Do you need to be doing it? Yes. And here's my rule of thumb when it comes to off days. Really, in my mind, there is no such thing as an actual off day where you're going to be sitting on your ass all day doing nothing. That will help you in no way, shape, or form. It'll actually take away from your gains. You need to stay active every single day. My rule of thumb on your off days is to spend at least half the amount of time that you spent training on focused mobility work. All right, so for example, if you're training on Monday, and let's just say you train for an hour, on Tuesday, if it's your off day, you need to be going through some focused dynamic mobility work and soft tissue work, stretching for at least 30 minutes. You need to be spending at least half the amount of time. If not, spend the same amount of time that you spend training in the gym on your recovery work, on your mobility work. It'll pay huge dividends in regards to getting you better results. You'll feel a lot better when you come back. So, for example, week setup, if I train Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday I train for an hour. Wednesday I'm hitting up 30 minutes of focused dynamic mobility work, soft tissue stuff. Wednesday, you're going to feel a lot better coming into the gym, whereas if you didn't do jack shit, or if you only spent 5 to 10 minutes on some half-ass mobility work and stretching work, all right? So my best recommendation is going through a dynamic warm-up. So the dynamic warm-ups that I typically go through, they take about 7 to 10 minutes. I'll go through that a couple times to get my blood flowing, loosen up the body a little bit, and then I'll hit on my focused mobility work, loosen up my hips, my hamstrings, my upper back, all that good stuff, and I'll crank out the soft tissue work, all right? That's critical. What I like to use, lacrosse ball, all right? Check out the stuff that K-Star has on Mobility WOD. That stuff is super powerful in regards to the different soft tissue work, mobility work that he does over there. So I follow that stuff to the T on my off days. All right, so you got to stay active. That's my answer on that. From Garrett, Travis, I'm having a lot of issues with lower back, really tight. How do I improve my mobility? Do I need to be just focusing on stretching? And when is the best time to stretch, right? So when it comes to your lower back, all right, you got to be focusing on your hips, your hamstrings, your glutes, your upper back, your mid back, and you're going to do this with mobility work, all right? I'm more all about the mobility work versus the stretching, all right? If you're gonna stretch, I recommend only stretching after your training session, because after your training session, your body's warmed up, your body temperature's high, all right? You're sweaty, you're gonna get a better stretch after a workout than versus doing it before. Before, you should always be going through dynamic mobility work and soft tissue work, all right? That's what you should be doing before. I'm against stretching before, all right? I know there's people for it or whatnot, but I never stretch before a workout. It's always dynamic mobility work, okay? And like I mentioned, if you're lower back problems, people think it's a tight lower back. It's always going to be the muscles around that. So your hip flexors, your quads might be tight, your calves, everything. You just got to make sure you improve your mobility, because once you do that, you're going to improve that lower back tightness, all right? I still got a little bit of lower back tightness, but it's improved a ton over the years through mobility work. So one of my favorite ones is just a big lunge, okay? Loosen up that whole groin area, coming up into like a hamstring stretch right there, and just working that, okay? A lot of athletes, they can't get into this position. They can't even straighten out their front leg here. So that's one area that you could focus in on right there. Just a sample mobility movement that's going to help loosen up those hamstrings, your groin, your hip. All right, there's tons of them. But you improve that, you're going to see an improvement in your lower back. All right, so last question here. Travis, I don't have the energy as I once had when I was young. I used to be able to just jump out of bed and just go right into my training. I train early in the AM. I just can't train as I used to. How do I increase my energy? Are there any supplements out there that work good? Red Bull, Monster, any of those 0-calorie drinks okay? What's the deal? All right, Brad, dude, first rule, stay away from those energy drinks. I'm telling you, I used to drink those things back in the day. Even the 0-calorie ones, I thought I was getting off scot-free. Telling you what, that stuff is absolute poison, man. Stay away from that stuff. Do not drink it. All right? The first thing you need to be focusing in on to get more energy is sleeping more. All right? Minimum of 6 hours. Okay? If you're not getting a minimum of 6 hours of sleep, don't even freaking ask me what supplement to take, or, don't look for the magic bullet. That is the first thing you must do. 6 hours of sleep minimum if you want more energy. All right, if you're not getting that, that's the first place you need to go. Next place, make sure you're keeping yourself hydrated. All right, you should be at least drinking ounces in water equal to your body weight. So I'm 175 pounds. I should be drinking 175 ounces a day minimum. All right, you need to be hydrated. That'll help increase your energy. Number 3, look at what you're eating. If you're eating like shit, again, you have no business asking what type of supplements out there are going to help you out. All right, so you check those 3 criteria right there: sleep, hydration, what you're eating. If that's all in check, then we can go ahead and look for external methods to help increase our energy. My best way, bulletproof coffee. That's what I do. I drink a coffee every morning. Not every morning, but when I train in the AMs, I agree with you. It's not as easy as it used to be when we were younger. Got to wake ourselves up a little bit. Got to make sure you're hydrated, eating good, sleeping good. If you want a little extra kick, 1 cup of black coffee should do it, all right? You should never, ever rely on a supplement to give you more energy, all right? So you need to focus on the big 3 first, then feel free to start adding in a little bit of coffee. That'll help push you through. Like I mentioned, I like Bulletproof coffee. It's whole, pure, organic stuff, and that's what I've been using to get through in my early morning sessions. So those are the main things that you need to be looking for, and I can't stress enough how bad those energy drinks are. 0 calories or not, that stuff's just pure poison, man. So avoid it by all means necessary. Go for some coffee, all natural stuff right there, all right? So those are the questions I got for this week's Friday Q&A. Hope to help you out. As always, drop your thoughts, comments, questions below in the comment section. Got all the extra details listed in regards to things I mentioned in this video. So keep kicking ass, going hard, living aggressive, always going 110% ham. Travis, I'm out.